Welcome back to Talking Shop with Shop Saber. I'm Brandon here with Chad today. No Nick.
Just us.
Just the two of us. I don't know why that's what came to my mind.
I wasn't going to start singing.
You should.
I don't want to ruin everybody's day.
It wouldn't ruin their day to make their day. Chad sing on the podcast.
I don't know if I'm much of a singer.
I can't sing right now. I can't carry a tune because of my cold.
At least you're getting better.
But I want to be honest, I couldn't carry a tune even if I didn't have a cold, but it's a good excuse. Yeah, we went to a hockey tournament this last weekend, and I hung out in the pool. Well, I wasn't in the pool, but the pool room, you know?
Yep.
It's one of those hotels where the pool's in the middle. All the rooms are on the outside of it.
Oh, yeah.
So all the parents gathered, in the pool area while the kids all swam, and you're just hanging out for days in a hot, humid environment. And then the only time you leave is to go to the hockey rink, which is
It's cold.
cold. So I'm pretty sure that's where this nasal crap came from.
Probably hanging around a bunch of kids, too.
Oh, just lots of them. There was 15 skaters on our team, plus all their little brothers and sisters, and you know how that goes.
Sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. No, it was actually pretty fun. The team battled pretty good.
They win?
They won one of their games.
That's good.
They were leading another game. They blew a lead in the third. So they learned
The Lions way?
They learned the Lions. Yes, the Lions way. They actually did. That's exactly how it was. We were up 3-1 in the third, lost 5-3. Yowzer.
Well, hopefully they didn't just give up.
Well, they did. That's
Did
pretty
they?
much what happened. Yeah. They.
Momentum shifted. And
Oh, you could feel it too.
They packed it in.
And we were yelling from the bench, keep skating. Watch them just start routing us. And then after the game, we got to talk to them about attitude and effort. So it was fun, but they came out on fire the next day and got the W. And then the second game, we got routed pretty hardcore, 6-2. And then the last game of the weekend, it was 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and nobody wanted to be awake.
I thought the games were a little higher scoring than that.
They used to be. We're getting to that age now where they know how to play hockey, so it's kind of starting to
I
tighten up.
suppose they probably played a little bit this season, too,
Oh, yeah.
now, too. So
Yeah, we're over halfway through the season
Oh,
now.
yeah, so they're getting the hang of it.
Yep, they understand. Our goalies are getting more comfortable too. I mean, Cade made some big saves, but yeah, it used to be 10 goal different. I mean, last year scores were 20-16. Now, yeah, they're usually less than 5 goals.
I don't know where I saw it now, but I saw a chick do a Michigan.
Yeah,
Where was that? Did you see it?
there's been a few of them recently. It's like all the rage. Every kid wants to do the Michigan now, and they just sit and practice behind the goal at practice. The Michigan. I'm like, boys,
Maybe it was at Hockey Day, and
Hockey Day, Minnesota.
I just saw it. I was going to say something to you. I forgot. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's a cool little move, but it's so overused now that as a hockey coach, I hate it. It was cool when the first one happened. It was cool when you see it once in a while. I mean, it's become so frequent that we saw 2 in the NHL on the same day.
Yeah. So now every kid's going to think they can do it.
Every kid thinks they can do it, and they try over and over and over.
It's like they say Steph Curry kind of ruined basketball because kids just throw up these random shots
Yeah.
thinking they're all going to drop.
Yeah. But I get it. I mean, they got to have fun still. It's, still the fun of the game, but I've been teaching my kid a blocker punch because he's a goalie, and the only way you're going to stop a Michigan is if you go after him. So,
And punch them?
yeah, you got to throw your blocker into their stick.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, you got to punch them. Punch the stick out of their hands, because if you hit the stick at all, they're not going to make it. So we've been practicing our blocker punch.
That's good.
Yeah, not actually punching the kid.
That's what I was.
I probably should
Like-
clarify.
Drop gloves and
No.
go to town.
My kid is 3'1", not exactly built for fighting.
You never know.
Nope, I know. He's definitely not built for fighting. Some of these kids are larger than me.
I believe that.
It's crazy. My kid gets out there and his head barely clears the crossbar. He has to block a lot of pucks with his face.
Hopefully it works for him.
He has good games and bad games.
They're scoring less goals on him, so that's good.
He's figuring it out slowly but surely. But yeah, so that's where my cold came from, was that hockey tournament this weekend.
I could see that.
Kind of sucks.
You see the wild pictures from the Shop Saber little event
Yeah,
thing?
that was pretty fun.
Nick's photobombing them all.
I saw that. Yeah, we so for those listening, we normally at the end of the year, I try to send the sales guys to a wild game, go do something, for obviously all the long hours and things you guys put in. And this year I couldn't go because of a hockey tournament. So I gave my ticket to Nick. and he photobombed every photo.
It was pretty hilarious.
It was pretty funny. He's in the back of every photo.
We should make him post it on.
We should make him post it on
so
social
he
media.
Everyone can see what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's pretty funny. He he photobombed the event, but it seemed like everybody had a good time.
Oh yeah, seemed fun.
Yeah, the outcome wasn't what we had hoped for, but kind of not our year as a Minnesota sports fans.
I thought they were getting better for a while, but typical Minnesota fashion.
Yeah, the Vikings fell apart this year. The Wild have fallen apart, but hey, the Timberwolves are good.
I think they say for a city or a state that has 4 major franchises like hockey,
Yep,
basketball, baseball, football,
yep.
we have the longest drought of winning a championship. It's like 32 years for any one of the teams. The next closest is like 10 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose because like Detroit, the Lions haven't done much, but their baseball team
Pistons
has.
have won, or
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
go Minnesota.
Yay! I'm glad we're leading in that category. That makes me feel good.
I'm just glad to see they didn't include the WNBA because they had
Hey, we did good there for a while.
They were like a dynasty for a minute.
Yeah, they were pretty good for a while there. Speaking of dynasties, ShopZero. I feel like that's a dynasty.
.com.
.com. Yeah. I should have just hit the button. You're right. I should have just been like, speaking of dynasties, and then just shopsaver.com. I'm trying to find the button, to be honest with you. There it is. Shopsaver.com. That's what I should have said.
Should be like the new shopsaver.com.
I know I keep saying I'm going to fix it, but I'm not. I'm going to keep saying I'm going to fix it, but I'm never going to get around to doing it. But yeah, no, the website's updated. We've got the new e-commerce site live now.
I've had a few people purchase from that.
pretty cool.
While we're on the phone, it's pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Being able to buy accessories and, parts and consumables all online.
It's pretty
Only getting better.
excited to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, we got a bunch of cool things coming down the pipeline there. And then last week we did some new videos with Sean. We had kind of teased that last week's episode, but we're doing that torsion box. You see that box out there?
Yeah, I was a little confused when it was in pieces what exactly it was for, but now that it's together, it makes more sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool little, we were joking about it. We probably should have built that before we built all the cabinets.
Now that I've seen that, I've noticed, because I'm a part of a bunch of like CNC groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've noticed them in almost everybody's shop,
Yeah, it's a really common thing
Like
that you
super
just look
common.
past that people just assume is a table
Correct.
because you don't know better. But then once you see them, you're like, oh, wow, a lot of people have these.
And ours is really nice.
Yeah, it turned out really good. I got to give Sean credit on that one. That turned out pretty cool. But yeah, as we kind of get into the new year here, we're 1 month in at this point.
Isn't that crazy?
It's the end of the month today, right?
We're a 12th of the way done with the year.
That's crazy. But we talked a little bit, Chad, the last time you were on the show about kind of what we were hearing and seeing with the economy, and then obviously Sean talked last week about what he's seeing in his business, and I think the collective agreement here on both conversations came out to be 2024 is poised to be a pretty strong year, I think.
I agree.
I mean, it hasn't really slowed down for us, even since our conversation a few weeks ago. It's a pretty strong month this month for us. We're seeing a lot of active, shops out there, a lot of people upgrading. But that's a question I have for a lot of our listeners is, what are you hearing? What are you seeing? You can obviously leave it in the comments section of these videos and let us know. But for us, we're starting to notice really just a lot of active buyers out there.
Quick movers,
Yeah.
needing something yesterday and
All right.
wanting a CNC machine to add the automation.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's kind of where, I wanted to go today with it. It was just talking about automation and the benefits of it and kind of what does automation bring to a shop? Really, where is that advantage as you kind of look towards the future here? It's something to be said right now. I think, I was talking to Hypertherm today. They were in our building and they were asking me like, hey, how are you guys doing staffing wise? And I was like, do you ever have enough? And he started laughing. He's like, no, that's why I'm asking. He goes, because everywhere you go, people can't find enough people to hire. And he said that is what he's noticed as the biggest contributor to growing companies right now is the ability to grow without having to add people you can't find. And it's a good point.
I think so. I think here, though, we're kind of lucky that when I walk back out in the shop, there's a lot of people that I recognize from when I started here.
We retain employees, I think, really well. But as you grow,
You need more.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it'd be nice to have an abundance in some areas versus just the old school guys making it work.
yeah. And, obviously that's where some of this for us, rather than, we've tried. It seems like we're always hiring welders, right? I can always add more welders. But we've started to add more robotics. Rather than adding more people. We're adding robotic tools and robotic welders, and with that, you kind of get the ability to grow without the burden of finding the right people. Because we have a pretty good culture here.
Correct.
And anytime you hire somebody, you risk that culture because they have to be a culture fit, right? They have to come in, have that same attitude, that dependability, that everybody's going to be a part of the team, right? A team player. But when you run out of people that contribute at that level, it can sometimes spread negatively, right?
Correct.
Well, so-and-so is not doing his job and I'm having to pick up the slack. Now I'm upset.
Oh, that spreads quick.
Yeah. And so it's like adding equipment, and that's where like CNC to me, the automation side, really makes the most sense because I'm not saying go out and replace your people, right? I actually say don't do that. I don't think there's a reason for you to get rid of your good workers. But I think adding a CNC machine will allow you to grow your business or adding automation without having to try to find that needle in a haystack.
That next good employee.
Yeah. Like you run into that where it's just like, again, look at our sales team. We have some really good employees and, really guys that care about the customer and they really are focused on the core, decision-making. But we've been able to stay sustainable. Wow, I'm struggling with words today. Stay sustainable because of the fact that we have systems in place, quoting systems, tools that allow you guys to do the jobs of many with less people.
Correct.
But yet you're not working until 9 o'clock at night every night.
Correct. Just in December.
Just in December, yeah. But the point being is like, as we kind of roll into this e-commerce world, right? We talked about being able to sell parts online. We now give people the ability to do things around the clock.
Well, you're not getting rid of the people that are here.
Right.
It just made their jobs easier because they can, on these simple stuff, not have to field the phone call or do the extra work. The order comes in, and I don't know what happens after. I'm not involved in that side of things, but I'm assuming it's a pretty easy process. Once the order comes in, they get it to the shipper and, get it ready to be delivered.
Well, think about this for a second. If you don't have automation, right, and you have to add more people, right? Well, people is a factor that can delay things, right? Mm-hmm. What if the people aren't here? Mm-hmm. What if they're off that day? What if it's outside hours, right? Having that e-commerce capability where people can do things at night when they need it or on the weekend when they're thinking about it, they can keep moving, right, without the delay. When you look at a CNC machine as an example, right, if you buy a CNC plasma or a CNC router, you can keep things moving outside of normal business hours, right?
Yep.
You can load sheets, you can cut parts without having to have the whole staff there. So if you are behind or, heaven forbid, something gets damaged, let's say you're installing cabinets and one of your guys drops one, right? Like you can build that part right there on the fly rather than having to go back to the shop and get the whole staff involved, right?
Yep.
One machine, one file, right?
Yep.
So one guy can technically handle that job. So I think there's something to be said about automating your future, and really what the future of your business looks like can really largely vary based on what direction you're trying to go.
You don't have to take on more employees to make more money.
Right. And I think that's the way it used to be. Like when you think about businesses, the businesses that used to grow the fastest were the ones with the most money. They could buy bigger buildings. They could hire more people and pay them more aggressively, right?
Yep.
Nowadays, I feel like you can be a very productive business without having to incur as much overhead.
I agree with that.
Like you think about how many of our customers can be we were talking to a customer today. He did $600,000. And it was him and one guy.
Was that profit or?
I don't know. I don't know the numbers.
Wonder.
But you know what I'm saying? Like $600,000 just with two guys in his home garage.
In the garage.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And you start to think about being able to add the CNC machine. And he even said it. That was without a CNC. He's like, now I'm going to add the CNC because I've been outsourcing it. He's been paying somebody else to do it. So now he's going to take all of that overhead away from it.
So he's going to make even more.
That's what he said. He's like, I know for a fact I'll make more because I had to turn jobs down last year because me and the guy that works for me can't keep up. It took him a week to cut jobs a lot. He said a lot of the kitchens take him about a week, he said, to cut what he needs to cut out, to do the whole job.
Now he can do it in a day.
He said the cutting will take him a day, and he said the install will probably be another day.
So he can basically...
He says double.
double.
That's what he told me. He's like, on
Two
any
and a
given
half
week,
times his work.
he's like, on any given week, I expect to be able to double. Which, I mean, you think about that, and all he had to add was a CNC machine. He's not adding more equipment.
He didn't get a different building or
Yeah, he's staying in this. I shouldn't say that, like, it's his shop on his land. You know, he's got a little pull bar, and he said, but the point being is, like, it doesn't take this huge overhead to be successful.
Correct.
You just got to be smart with the way you use your money and the way you invest in yourself.
Like buying the welder.
Yeah. Yeah, buying welders, being able to do things that allow you to free up your talent. Nobody wants to sit there and weld the same part over and over all day. Let them do some of more complex jobs.
Well, I think you get better repeatability. So the quality, long term is going to be.
Well, I just think about days like today where I'm just under the weather, right? What if I was a welder today? Like, do you think I'm going to be pushing myself at the same level I would be on the days that I feel better?
No.
No, I can tell you for a fact I'm not. I'm not pushing myself at the same level that I have been in the past. But it's the difference in your business. Like, a CNC machine doesn't have those days. Me as an operator of a CNC machine, I don't have to slow down. I'm pushing a button, letting the machine do its thing.
Correct.
Maybe I'm not putting things together as fast today, but
Taking a little bit longer to unload the table.
right. I mean, there's some factors there, but that's where you just buy an ISA,
Those things are sweet.
and you don't have to wait on me to unload it. Then I can kick back and eat and drink NyQuil. I mean DayQuil. I almost took NyQuil this morning.
Yeah, you want Dayquil during the day. And
I almost took NyQuil this
at
morning.
night.
I confused the bottles this morning.
I think Micah had that problem one day.
It was close. I almost pulled the mic today. Yep. No, but the point being is when you, and I apologize again for my voice. It's ridiculous today. But the point being is that, like, as you invest in your 2024, you got to think about some of this automation stuff and, even software stuff. I've been hearing lately there's some increases in price with some software, right?
I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah. And one of them, we'll just call it what it is, Mosaic, right? Mosaic had a price increase. And I don't know why, but people are throwing a fit about it. And I thought to myself, it's really not that much money when you consider how much software comes for that price.
Correct.
I mean, historically, they're still, I think, even at today's price, they're still cheaper than any other package out there
As far as my knowledge, they're definitely.
for what they have specifically.
They're definitely still.
So it's like, it's easy to be upset. They raised their price. Well, it's probably about time, right? I mean, for one, how do they hire any more support staff? People complain all the time about support and things like that. Like, they can't improve it if they don't create more profit somewhere,
Yep.
right? So, for one, that's the other side of it. But the other side is, really, when you're selling $20,000 kitchens, is $40 a month really going to change that?
You can get that sold in one job.
Right. Like, you're literally talking about a $20,000 kitchen set that you're designing with the software. And if you sell 1 or 2 kitchens a month, I think the software paid for itself.
Paid for itself.
Yeah. But yet you're going to waste your breath arguing about the software.
It might be one of those, is the glass half full or half
Right.
empty
Right.
type deal.
I was talking to Sean about that a little bit, and Sean's like, dude, I don't even notice it. He's like, I'm so busy staying busy with work and doing what I'm doing with our shop. Like,
It's just a necessary.
it's a necessary part of my job. He goes, I don't have a choice to just not have software. He's like, I just have to do it. And he goes, it'd be one thing if they were raising it an outrageous amount. I might go look for a new solution. He said, but it's a reasonable amount that they've raised it, considering how many updates, changes, features they've incorporated over the last 4 years without charging $1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's a lot of features. Like he said, he's got KCD. He's got some of these other packages as well. And there's things and features that Mosaic has offered that he doesn't have from all these other packages that he'll pay a little bit extra for it, but they're still cheaper than some other packages he rents. So, that's the kind of that same mentality. Like, we're stepping over, dollars to save dimes, right?
Yeah, pick up pennies.
Yeah, and it's just not worth it. Like, at that point, like, focus on what you're focusing on, and that is increasing your profit margins, right? How can we be more efficient in the shop?
You can't control what they're going to do with their pricing.
Right.
You can only focus on what you can control, which would be your shop. And
I teach that to the hockey team all the time. I say there's 2 things in life you can control: attitude and effort. And it's the truth, because
it's definitely true.
I can't control what the other team is going to do. I can't control what the other products are going to do. I can't control what the industry is going to do. I can control how hard we work And I can also control how we approach situations, right? Our attitude towards the way things are. And I've always told people, you kind of get what you give, right? If you're going to go into situations with a bad attitude, you're probably going to get resistance, right?
If you're always negative, you're only going to see negative things.
Correct.
I'm a big believer in that.
I agree. Like, I'm a huge believer in that too. Like, I start every day with a quote. Like, every day I send a quote out. I have a text group with a bunch of buddies. And every day I just send a quote out to them. And, it's just different motivational things to get your mind right out of the gate. Because I think there's so many people that wake up in the morning and they think of a negative thought. So, like, for me, like this morning I said, sometimes the right path isn't always the easiest one. Keep going. And it just makes you think about, what can I do today to start my day the right way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm not saying I don't have bad days. Trust me. Waking up sick is a bad day.
Everybody has bad days.
I feel like crap today. But I could have chose to stay at home and mope around.
Which would have made you feel worse.
Yeah, or get my butt up, worked out this morning, and now I'm here doing a podcast.
About ready to knock out the rest of the day. What time is it?
8:30 a.m.
Oh, man. Can't be. I have too much energy for that time.
It's 8:30 a.m. We're here. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when you work as hard as you do to find a problem, you'll find one,
Oh, absolutely.
right? But if you work as hard as you do to find a solution or find that next answer, like, you're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. I really believe that if you apply yourself 110% every day, like, more positive things will come out of it. And that is saying to be said about automating your shop and the employees. You'll get a lot more out of all that stuff if you put the effort into it completely.
Correct.
Trust me, we all have days where it's like, something didn't go our way. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
The day is going to roll on.
Yep. I'm working on that with my son right now. I'm trying to remind him that, is today's problem a today problem, a this week problem, or a lifetime problem? Like, what is it? And what I mean by that is, like, some days he wakes up and he doesn't have pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, I can't find the pants I want. Is that a today problem? Like, you're in a bad mood because you can't find pants. Just go to the laundry. Go find the pants. They're probably in the washing machine. Like, because every 10-year-old kid wants to go just grab stuff out of the dirty laundry. It's like their thing. Like, dude, you smell like a shoe. Stop. Just go grab clean pants. They're out of the dryer. But, like, those kind of situations where you just got to take a step back and realize that, like, it's a today problem. It's going to go away. Tomorrow you won't even remember it. Versus a this year problem, right?
What
Or
would be a this year problem?
taxes.
Fair enough. That was a quick answer.
Well, I hear people complaining about that right now. I had a person, a pretty good friend of mine. She sent me a message last night, and she said, I hate taxes. And I wrote her back, write the check and move on. It means you've accomplished something this year. Like, that's all you can do, because the reality is they're inevitable. It's a this year problem only. Next year, it's going to look differently. Just keep going, Because remember, there's always worse things in the world that you could be focusing on. And it's like, just focus your attention towards positive energy. And that is, how can we be better this year than we were last year? Maybe we didn't hit our goals last year, right? Maybe there's something you set that you didn't accomplish. You and I were talking about this earlier today, right? Mm-hmm. You've been working on a bunch of things, personal goals. Mm-hmm. One of them being health and fitness.
Yep, the last one.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, when I met you, well, I shouldn't say met you, when we reconnected with you.
Yeah, exactly.
After I'd left my last job, and you and I kind of, parted ways for a little while, and then you reached out. You had told me you had some things on your list that you were going to try to accomplish, and you've accomplished all of them. I've watched you along the way. Pretty awesome. But the last one I remember on your list was health and fitness. Varsity, right?
2 years.
2 years, varsity. But the point of what I'm saying is that, like, it's super easy to, like, oh yeah, look at all the good things we've done and forget about some of those goals because we've accomplished so much.
Yep.
But I feel like you get so much further by focusing on the future goals.
Correct.
Great, you've accomplished these things. They don't matter anymore. You've accomplished them. They're just a part of your normal life today. What isn't a part of your life? The best way, I heard this from a hockey coach one time. And they said, what was the way they explained? I'm trying to come up with this again. He said it's basically like having a bubble on your shoulder. Take all the things that you are good at and put them inside that bubble. So whether it's talking to people, it's, whatever those things are, right? You put them in there. Hockey is what I'll use as an example. He said, maybe you have a good wrist shot. Maybe you have a good slap shot. Maybe you're really fast, right? But then now I want you to put around the outside of the bubble the things that you want to be good at. Maybe your wrist shot isn't as good as you wish it was. Maybe you can't toe drag. Maybe your crossovers aren't very good, right? And the same could be said in life, right?
Yep.
Whatever those things are, you put them around the outside. And then you don't work on the things that are in the bubble. You already acquired those skills. You're going to use those in your everyday, life.
Yep.
But work on the things that you're not good at. Focus on that, right? It's okay that maybe you aren't the best at sales, right? Or not, to focus on that. How can I get better in these areas? And you start working, and eventually they just become a part of your life. And they
Correct.
suddenly, your bubble, right, gets stretched out. All the things that you thought 5 years ago, man, I wish I could have that. You have them now.
Yep.
And you have a new 5 goals or whatever, right? But it's the same thing about your business. That same philosophy could be applied to your business. What goals do you have set today for 2024? And how are you going to acquire them? Automation might be one of them.
Should be one of them.
Well, if you don't have automation, you should be.
You're already behind. I think that
You had something there.
I forgot where I was going to go.
You lost it. Yeah, I think automation is a big part of business's future. And it's so easy to assume you're automated. I think a lot of people just assume they're using automation. Well, we have a sliding saw. But what is automation? What does automation mean to you, Chad? What do you think of when you hear automation?
I guess I think of not something that once you program something, it does it for you.
Yep.
Like once you set a code or program it or set a timer or a repetitive thing, it's going to do it for you.
Yep. You know what the actual definition of automation is?
Not a clue.
It is the use of technology to perform tasks with reduced human assistance.
There we go.
So it's easy to say, yeah, we use automation, right? But the level of automation you use might be a completely different definition of the level of automation others use. So it's where I go back to finding ways to, maybe you're really good at automating your quoting process, right? But how do you automate the manufacturing process, right? CNC equipment or robotic welders or whatever that is, right? There's a way to expand your bubble, right?
Yep.
Push that bubble outside of your comfort. I'm really comfortable using computers. Well, you're using automation,
Yep.
right? I mean, email is automation. You're not sending letters anymore,
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
right? So you're doing this, but that does not mean that you're not as efficient as you could be. Do you use email servers or email systems to follow up with your customers? I mean, if you're saying no to that, maybe that's an area of expansion. You've already sold products to your customers. Why aren't you tapping into that potential?
Are you checking back with people after
Correct.
they give you a time frame?
Well, my thing is you think about all these guys that sell cabinets, right? They're buying their new house, right? And you sell them their cabinets. But I'm wondering, do every cabinet maker out there, are they taking the time to reach back out to that customer a year later?
I guess I don't know.
Are you reaching out and just asking how things are going?
Do you need anything else done?
Well, sometimes you'll find out they just got a promotion and now they're renovating a cabin. And I'm going to be honest, just because you did a really good job in their house doesn't mean they remember you. I'm a perfect example of that. My wife, she is the queen of forgetting who we used for certain projects. Loved what they did, but a year goes by and she forgot who they are. But if you just simply stay in touch, suddenly you'll pick up business,
My mortgage guy does that.
Yeah.
He's every 3 to 6 months.
Your mortgage guy's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Isn't he the guy that did the fantasy football thing?
no.
Oh, I thought that was that guy.
That's my best friend's brother.
Oh.
Do you see where Nick's at?
Yeah, he's winning the stupid thing almost.
But my mortgage guy sends me happy birthday
Yeah.
thing, and then he'll send 2 or 3 just checking in.
And it takes little effort to do that.
I'm sure he has it on an automated kind of thing. Maybe not because they are kind of personal, but it's cool. And I guess if anybody ever talks about needing a house or a mortgage, I say I know a guy versus if he had just disappeared, fell off the face of the earth, I would say, I don't know anybody. I use this guy or whatever for mine, but
Yep.
it wouldn't be like a constant kind of like that person.
Right. And that's the thing is it's like it's a lot easier to do business with people that you trust, right?
Yeah, more personable.
Right. Like I think you'll find that by just simply automating some of your process, right? Staying in touch, following up. You don't have to personally reach out to them every time, but sometimes it's just nice to receive that email reminder who I am.
Thanking you for your business.
Right. But I just think, as a business owner out there considering their business, like you might use email, so you're automated. But if you're still cutting parts by hand, like there's another level of automation.
I agree.
Maybe you're still out there painting things the hard way. Maybe you're ironing out on your edge banding, right? I mean, we've seen that. Instead of using an edge bander.
Remember that one guy's post where he's like, I'm kind of scared about this. Got my edge bander up and running. It was like
Yeah.
a heat gun and a spool of band.
That's so funny. But it's true though. It's like everybody has a different level. Don't try to run before you walk. Take the first step. You don't have to be this super plant. Just take a step this year. Do something this year that's outside of your comfort zone.
All good things start with small things.
I always say that. Never met a track runner that started running.
8 miles in 4 minutes.
They got to crawl before they can run, right? You got to teach that. It's like the same thing we teach the hockey players. Got to get good at skating before you can start winning championships, right? It's the same thing. You got to get good at being efficient before you become super profitable.
For sure.
But I'm going to be honest with you. This cold is kicking my butt. So, no, I want to talk about that today. I'm not going to ramble on too much here. Like I said, this cold is kicking me. But I wanted to at least put a short episode together about taking that next step, kind of moving forward with your expectations for 2024. And whatever that expectation is, like, being sure to check us out. Obviously go out to our website. If you haven't automated your systems yet, give us a shot.
ShopSaber.com.
Anything else did I miss?
What new videos do we have coming up? The
Torsion box. Yeah, we got the torsion box. That's our video this month. We have
fun.
some new aluminum videos we just posted.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Those
are pretty
pieces turned out awesome.
Yeah. Like, honestly, they turned out even better than I expected. Like, when you're cutting 1 inch, 1 inch at quarter-inch passes, like 1 inch thick aluminum at quarter-inch passes, you don't see that very often on CNC routers.
It's quite a bit.
And, I mean, it turned out beautiful.
It looked very nice.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, to be honest with you, the edge is so sharp, like, you cut yourself on the edge if you're not careful.
So Kyle's not in here?
Yep. Did he cut himself?
Yeah, he cut his thumb.
Did he?
Yeah.
Jeez. See?
I know from cutting my hand 5 years ago that you gotta be careful around the edges.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's true, though. I mean, when the machines cut as clean as they do, they leave a sharp edge. Mm-hmm. Same with the melamine. I mean, I razor cut my hand open one time on melamine. First time ever, Bob cut cabinets out. And he cut the melamine cabinets. He's like, hey, why don't you assemble these with me? And I just grabbed him, not thinking, and yeah, I sliced the heck out of my hand.
Did they already put out the aluminum video?
Yeah, videos
I
are
guess
out there.
I missed that.
They're live.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yep. Yeah, we got aluminum videos out on our YouTube channel. We got 3 different ones. Quarter or half-inch aluminum and 1 inch aluminum is what we did. And then we did the 1 inch in 2 scenarios.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I missed those. I don't know. Normally I'm pretty good at watching.
Yeah. No, they turned out pretty good. I was pretty happy with them.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. No, for sure. So if you haven't checked them out, make sure you go out to our YouTube channel. Give it a like or a follow.
Facebook.
Facebook. Yep. We got them out there as well.
X.
X. I
MySpace.
keep forgetting about X. MySpace. Yeah, we got MySpace.
I don't think there's any other ones.
I don't think MySpace is around still.
TikTok. I think it is. I think they use it for music though.
Oh, do they?
I have no idea.
Tic Tac. I haven't talked about the Tic Tac lately.
There was a while there that there was, or at least maybe it was just because it was popping up in my feed, but it was like every time I logged into the thing, I'd see 4 Shop Saber videos.
We did a lot of TikToking. Trying to put more videos out there. We want people to be able to see what we're doing.
I think that's a good, if you get it into the algorithm to the right people, I think that's a good place to.
My problem is I get lost in the algorithm and I end up
I know.
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. The NFL is rigged.
Yeah, you end up on that and then you're so far down
I'm
the
so
rabbit hole.
sick of hearing about that.
Yeah, it's going to be the Ravens and it's going to be the
It's the
49ers.
the colors.
And it's not the Ravens.
Like they're both red.
Yeah, that didn't work out so hot for him, did it?
And then it's going to be Taylor Swift and Eminem. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
If it is, it's not that.
Yeah. Like I said, you can find a million
Yeah,
negative
the
things.
rabbit hole.
It's the rabbit hole. But yeah, like I said, with that, like I said, be sure to subscribe to some of our YouTube channels and whatnot and check out some of these videos. But we'll be back next week with a new episode. Hopefully, I will be feeling better. And again, I apologize for my annoying voice.
I think you'll be feeling better.
I'm hoping so. But with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
Thanks for talking shop with Shop Saver.